guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we're going to be doing a Sephora sale recommendation. So the holiday VIB sale is coming up this Friday. So it starts October 27th. Wait, is it October 27th? I don't know. I'll have the days in the screen of when they start. I know it starts this Friday for Rouge members. So I thought I would go ahead and get my recommendations up. I haven't done one since 2021, so we have quite a bit of stuff to go through, but I will have the playlist of all my recommendations down below, and I think I'm going to try and link my playlist for my Sephora haul updates, because those are pretty much like recommendations. I'm telling you what I like and what I don't like from the hauls that I have done. Some of these products might be mentioned in those, but I really recommend watching my Sephora haul updates if you want like my opinion on products from Sephora. Well, yeah, make sure to subscribe down below and give this video a thumbs up if you do enjoy it, and if you want to see my recommendations for the Sephora sale, then just keep on watching. Okay, so I don't have any primers or anything. I have a few foundations. I have a lot of foundation favorites, but I just chose 3. So the first one is Holy Grail. I wore this on my wedding day. It's just my favorite foundation of all time, and I don't have it on here. I think I did mention it in a TikTok for a Sephora sale recommendation, but I've talked about it so many times. It's the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. This is just my Holy Grail foundation. Nothing has topped it. Nothing is better than this. It's just the best. Like a medium to full coverage, you can pretty much manipulate this coverage and use it however you like. You can keep it super sheer. You can keep it very full. It's really, very flexible. It wears so nicely on the skin. It lasts all day long. I feel like I can sweat in this, I can cry in this, I can literally do whatever, and I feel like it's just gonna last. I do obviously set this. I do have oily skin. I set every single foundation I have, but this is just such a skin like flawless foundation. If you have not tried this foundation, you absolutely need to. It's just the best that I have ever tried. And I have mine in the shade Oslo. That's the only thing about NARS, their colors are a little bit weird, so this is a little bit too pink for me, but this is, the other shade was way too yellow, so yeah. And I don't know if this, what is going on with this lid. Okay, next I have the Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Foundation. So this is a little bit newer. I am wearing this today mixed with the Makeup Forever HD Skin Foundation. So this is a little bit more of a dewier foundation for me. I do have to set this, but it lasts so good on me. It's a very like natural coverage foundation. I would say this is like a light to medium coverage. It's a really great for like every single day, or when you just want like more of a lighter coverage with like a nice like glowy finish. It's not too glowy on me, and I have mine in the shade 1C. It reminds me so much of the Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. Like they're very comparable to me. They have very similar finishes, coverages. They're just very comparable, and this one is like $20 cheaper. So, and then my last one is the Dior Forever Skin Glow Foundation. I can't remember if I mixed this in with the NARS Light Reflecting on my wedding day. I can't remember, but this is still such a good foundation. If you are a bride and you like that more glowy finish, you definitely should pick this up during the sale. I have mine in the shade 0N. It's just so good. It gives such a nice radiant finish. It's not too dewy. It's not too glowy. It has more of a full coverage foundation, so this is good for like more glam days, but you still want to glow. This is a good one. It's pricey, but it's a good foundation. And then I just have 2 concealers. So the first one to go with the one that we just mentioned, this is the Dior Forever Skin Concealer. Again, I have mine in the shade 0N. This is a big concealer. I don't know how much is in it. Besides the packaging, it's just so good. It blends so easily on the skin. This is more of like a hydrating, I don't want to say radiant, but it does have, it's not matte, it's more like a satin finish. Super easy to blend, so easy to work with. I never had problems with this setting too fast or being hard to blend out. Just looks very natural underneath the eyes, but it gives such a good coverage. I definitely think this is more of a fuller coverage concealer, like maybe like medium to full coverage, but it just lasts so well and looks so pretty underneath the eyes. Did I use this? I was getting ready and I just was like using things, but I'm pretty positive that I used this on my wedding day. I think. I can't remember. Or it might have been this one. I can't remember which one, but this is the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer. So this one is really, really nice for more like full glam. This one definitely is fuller coverage. I have mine in the shade Royal Icing 1.1N. This one is like a satin finish, but it dries down. It doesn't dry down too fast. Like, you still have time to blend, but once it's set, it is like set. If you have dry skin, I have said this before, I don't feel like you have to set this. I have oily skin, so I'm always gonna set everything, but this one lasts forever on my eyes. I don't have problems with it creasing. It just looks so flawless, and like once it's set, it is like not going anywheres. So yeah, this is a really good concealer. One powder that I've noticed I didn't even mention on my channel, but this is the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Baking and Setting Powder. If you haven't heard about this powder, I don't know where you've been. I feel like this is everyone's favorite, but this is such a good powder. Really nice colors. I wish you would come out with a lavender one actually, because for my wedding day, I mixed Cupcake and Cherry Blossom from Huda Beauty with Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder and Translucent with Fenty Beauty lavender powder, and it was just like the most perfect powder. I have it underneath my eyes today, and it's just like the most perfect color, having all those mixed together. It's still such a good powder. The Fenty Beauty one's really good, the Maybelline one's really good, the One Size is really good, but this one's just so good. If my concealer is not working out, my foundation doesn't look good, something's just not looking good, this will just fix all of my problems. It's just like my makeup saver. Like, it just makes my makeup look flawless every single time. Okay, I think everything else is just eyes, lips, and like cheek products. I don't know. There's so many, like, I can't remember like exactly what I've mentioned, what I haven't mentioned, what I've mentioned on TikTok, what I've mentioned on YouTube. But the first one for a cream bronzer is the Makeup by Mario Skin, what is this called? Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer in the shade Light. This is so good. If you are an everyday makeup girly, if you're just getting into creams, if you're scared of cream products, if you just like more of like a natural, you don't want like something super pigmented or crazy, you need to try this one. This is the most natural cream bronzer I've ever used. Like, I can literally pile and pile this on it, and it's still just gonna give me such a natural flush of color that just looks just so natural. You can't go overboard with this product. Like, you literally can't. I know it might not be some people's favorite. If you like full glam striped, like heavy pigment cream bronzer, you're not gonna like this at all. This is gonna seem so sheer, but this is what it's meant to be. Like, it's meant to be very sheer, very natural, very skin-like, and that is exactly what this is. You can wear this with like not a speck of makeup on your face just to give some color. You can wear this with a full glam. It's just so good. This one's a little bit different, but still more natural. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Sun Kissed Glow Bronzer. So this is very different for me. This one is a little bit more full coverage than the Makeup by Mario one. Still super natural, and this one has more of like a cool toned color to it. It's very similar to my Patrick Ta one, which I have. This is a Holy Grail offer. I've already mentioned it in these before, but like, you can see how close I am to hitting pan on it. This is like an absolute favorite of mine, so I'm mentioning it now. Patrick Ta Cream and Powder Contour Bronzer Duo, whatever the freaking crap its name is. So good. Don't know how I haven't hit pan on this. Like, this is just so good. But the colors, as you can see, are super similar, like very neutral. They're not too cool, not too warm, just that nice like in between. So I can use this really as contour or bronzer, but this is just such a pretty bronzer. You can use this over powder, you can use this under powder. It's very like, it's like a moussier cream, so it kind of sets down, and it is almost like a cream to powder finish to me. But this one is really nice, and it's huge. Like, I know Charlotte Tilbury is expensive, but this is ginormous. I use it all the time, and I feel like I barely even made a dent. Okay, I don't have any powder bronzers. I've honestly just kind of run through my powder bronzers, just like whatever's there. So I'm going to move on to cream highlight because I only have one. So this is the Merit Highlighting Balm in the shade Kava. This is gorgeous. Like, literally, let me see if I can swatch it and show you. Like, that's with like heavy hand, and then I'll just like blend it out. And see how it's just such a natural lit from within glow. Like, it just looks like healthy, glowy, moisturized, hydrated skin. That's exactly what this is. This is, again, not a wham bam in your face crazy highlight. This is just such a lit from within glow. You can wear it with makeup, without makeup, but it just looks so natural and just glowy on the skin. This is so pretty. You can use this over makeup or over makeup. You can use this over powder or under. Again, with cream products, you just want to have a light hand if you're going over powder. Don't stripe it on the face. Really over powder or under powder. But I like to just apply it to my hand, pick it up with a brush, and just dab it on for all of my cream products. Then I have a couple cream blushes. So I have the Say liquid cream blushes. I don't know how I haven't mentioned these ones on here before. I'm sure I have, but not in the Sephora recommendations at least. So I have Poppy, I have Chili, yeah, and I have Spicy. I'm wearing Spicy today mixed with a powder blush on top, but these are so pretty. These are just so easy to use. They're liquid blushes, but they are so user-friendly. They just have more of a sheer coverage. They kind of remind me of the Rare Beauty ones, but like the Rare Beauty ones are so much more pigmented, can be harder to blend, a little harder to work with. These are like the user-friendly, lighter coverage of the Rare Beauty ones. These are for people who, if you love a sheer blush, you'll like these. If you love a pigmented blush, you're gonna like these. They're just so easy to use. They have such pretty colors, and I just really like them. You have more of a dewier finish, but again, I set everything with powder. So, and then I have the Huda Beauty Cheeky Tint blush sticks. So good. They kind of remind me of the Say ones. I've said that before, that these are very similar in formula. These are just liquid and this is a stick. But again, more of a dewy finish, super easy to work with, very blendable with very buildable coverage and like pigment. And then the last blush is the, or cream blush I should say, is the Rose Ink Lip and Cheek colors. I love these colors that they have, and I just love the formula. Super easy to work with. They're more of a maybe like putty formula, but they're just more of like a sheer blush that you can just really build up. If you can't see the pattern here, I just like things that are easy to work with, that I can just build up to the coverage that I want, not ones where I have to really be super careful. Obviously, I'm still loving the Patrick Ta cream and powder blush duos. Those are so good, holy grails, but I've mentioned them before. I'm trying to think of what else. The Tower 28 ones are really good, but again, I've mentioned those in a previous one. And then I have 3 powder blushes. So the first one is the Too Faced Cloud Crush Blurring Blush. That is such a name. These are really, really pretty. So the one I have is in Golden Hour. I love this color. And it has a little bit of a shimmer to it, or like a sheen. I wouldn't say shimmer. Let me just say like a sheen to it. But they are super blurring and very airbrush on the face, and they just add like a pop of color with a little bit of a glow. I've been really liking those. And then the House Lab ones are like the matte version of that. Very airbrush. These do have more pigment than the Too Faced ones, so have like a light hand with these because they are a little bit pigmented, but they again very airbrush on the face, have more of a matte finish, but super pretty. I don't know if she's discontinuing. I know the deeper shades are for some reason not available on Sephora anymore, and for some reason they all say limited edition now, so I don't know what's going on with that, but super pretty. And then the last one I'm gonna mention because I feel like the time to get these like luxury stuff is during the sale. So I'm gonna mention the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush and the Sublime Flush. Again, these Hourglass products sometimes are a little hard to explain. Like they're not super pigmented. They're more of like a buildable, but they give just such a light flush of color that has like a nice lit from within glow. It just makes your cheeks just look healthy and just plump, but with like a little bit of color, but super pretty. And I love that this one has like a little bit of like a lavender going through it. And then I'm like running through this right now. So I have 2 eyeshadow palettes. I don't know if I've mentioned Patrick Ta on here, but any of the Patrick Ta eyeshadows are just like so good. My favorite eyeshadow palettes, Makeup by Mario and Natasha Denona, Patrick Ta. So this is his newest one. I just grabbed this one because I already had it out, but this is the all matte one, and then it has 2 creams. So all of his palettes have 2 creams at the end, and then this one's all matte, but the other one is, I have this pinkier one. I use his first one all the time. I love the shimmers in it. It just looks so, it just looks so wet on the eyes and just gives such a subtle shimmer, but it just looks so beautiful in like natural light or in like everyday. Like I get compliments every time I wear it. And this one's obviously just such a good basic palette that everyone needs. The top row is like warm tones, bottom row is cooler tones. So good. And then this one I kind of like trashed a little bit when I first got it because I didn't think it was worth the money, but now I use it all the time and bring it with me every time I travel, and it's the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes palette. This one, it's worth the money. It is different than the Makeup by Mario one because this one is all like warm neutral tones. There is not a cool tone in this palette. You have a white, you have a black, you have so many transition shades, you have like deeper shades that you can blend out these darker shades with. They're just, it's so good. I literally bring this with me every time I travel because it's literally like the size of my hand, and it's just such a good palette, so easy to work with. I never have problems with these blending, but again, for the sale, you really can't go wrong with a Natasha Denona palette, a Makeup by Mario palette, or a Patrick Ta palette. They're all just going to be everything you could hope for. And then I have two eye toppers. So I have, this one is just went viral, but it's the Urban Decay Moon Dust. What is this called? Moon Dust eyeshadow? I don't know. This one's in Space Cowboy. I seen that they come out with like palettes, like limited edition, like holiday palettes with like 4 or 5 shades of these. But these are really, really nice. If you like just like, it's mostly just glitter. Like there's not like a ton of base to it. Like it's mostly just like a glitter topper. But again, in the sunlight, it just looks so pretty and just glowy. And just has like little specks of glitter, but it's super pretty. It's honestly so gorgeous on the eyes. It's worth the hype. And the last thing is the Fenty Beauty Diamond Balm. I did not realize how expensive the Diamond Balm has gotten. I bought this like 2 or 3 years ago, but now it's like $40 something. So definitely get it during the sale if you want it, but I love this on the eyes. I don't ever use it on my face because it's a little too glittery for the face, but on the eyes, it makes them look wet. Like it just looks like glitter wet goodness. Like it just looks so good on the eyes. So I love to use this as like an eyeshadow topper. And then the last eye product is the Makeup by Mario lip pencil or eyeshadow. Is the Makeup by Mario eyeliner pencils. So these are so good. I only have the perfect brown, but I would love to have these in every color. They're just the best eyeliners. I literally use this every time I do my makeup because it just does the job. Like it's so good. It stays put, it doesn't bleed, and it just is so creamy and so easy to work with. These are the best eyeliners I've ever used. So pick these up. Just like literally a couple lip products. So I'll mention this first. It's the Makeup by Mario lip pencils. I have mentioned this so many times on my channel. These are the best eyeliners. I use these all the time. I have used up this one so much. This is my favorite shade in the shade Hue. It's just the perfect pinky nude for me. But these are so creamy. They're not as dry as like a MAC lip pencil, but they're not as creamy as like a ColourPop. They're just that perfect in between where they're still wooden. So they're still dry enough that they're easy to work with, but creamy, or dry enough that they're easy to like overline and shape and do everything you want, but they're creamy enough to where they just glide on, but they stay put and they don't like bleed or anything. They're just the best. And they all come with like a little lip brush. Mine has seen better days. Yeah. I've just been using all the time. My favorite lipsticks are like the MAC lipsticks, but if I'm not using the MAC lipsticks, I'm using these. So these are the Tarte Maracuja Lip Plump, like Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip Plumps. I also like the original ones of these. These are just like more of like the plumping formula. I don't think these have like a crazy like plump to them. I think they just have like a little bit of like a minty tingle, but nothing like the Too Faced or like the Fenty Beauty Heat Glosses. Nothing crazy. They're just like maybe like a slight plump, but they're just so pretty and glossy and juicy on the lips, and they last better than the Makeup by Mario ones in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. These at least will last a little while. Obviously they're gonna come off because they're like a gloss mixed with a lipstick mixed with a balm, so they're not gonna last all night long, but they're just so good, so creamy. And they just, if you like a lip balm, how do I explain this? If you want a lipstick that isn't like super pigmented but has like a glossy finish but is also hydrating, then you'd really like these. The only lip gloss that I've been, not the only, but one of the lip glosses I use a lot is the Patrick Ta Major Volume Plumping Gloss. I love this red shade because like I'll do a nude and then I'll just pop this in the middle and it just makes them look so juicy and gives like a little bit of that popsicle lip that just looks like, it just looks so juicy. These are like plumping, but again, I don't think these are anything crazy. These almost have like a cinnamony kind of taste to them, but I don't think these are crazy plumping. So if you're looking for like a lot of plump, I wouldn't go with these. But if you're just looking for that juicy popsicle glossy lip, you'll like these. And the last thing that I have to mention is Makeup by Mario brushes. These are some of my holy grail best brushes I have ever used. They're so soft, they're so easy to work with, they don't shed, and they're just so good. F1, love this for foundation and concealer, literally like my holy grail foundation brush. You can use this for cream blush, cream bronzer, really whatever you want. And then this is, I think, the, okay, well this one doesn't say this, but I'll have it linked down below. But this one I love to use for cream blush and cream highlight. So I'll use this one for cream highlight and then I'll use this one for cream blush. I think this one is also technically like a foundation brush. I think this one came out with this foundation, but I love this for cream blush because it just has that perfect angle. And then these two are really good too. Love this for like spot setting, like my under my eyes or my eyelids. Again, good for like underneath the eyes. You could use this for setting, bronzer, blush, highlight, whatever. They're worth the splurge. They are definitely a splurge, but they're just worth it. They're just some of the best brushes that I've used, and I know that a lot of people said that they're not very heavy. I like that they're not super heavy. The actual brushes mean more to me than the handles, but okay guys, so that was everything that I wanted to mention. Let me know what you're picking up during the Sephora sale. Let me know what I should pick up. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I will see you in my next one. Bye.